Would you please go on the record with the American people? Did you sexually assault Tara Reade?
No, it is not true. I'm saying unequivocally, it never happened. And it didn't. It never happened.
Right? There's obviously been corroboration of Tara Reade's story in terms of her neighbor saying that she was told this story before. On the other hand, the neighbor came forward at Tara Reade's urging. After being reminded of the story by Tara Reade, she told the reporter that she had forgotten it until Tara Reade reminded her of it. So I think you can continue to make the case either way. I do think it means a lot that Biden has called for any records, if the Senate has them, to be released. And I think he did something important today, which was to deny it unequivocally without attacking Tara Reade's character, without sort of playing whataboutism with Trump, without saying that Trump's allegations are worse, although they are, I think he threaded a difficult needle of saying that this woman is not telling the truth about me without really attacking her character in any way.
I think there's a really interesting question about whether records from this office, from this period in general, have been retained. If they have been retained, if they're available someplace, if this document is not among them, I think that's probative, as the lawyers would say. If it is among them, I think that will be really interesting, and it will be part of the continuing set of questions that the vice president has to answer, because there are, and I've covered these things going back to Anita Hill and Clarence Thomas, before then Judiciary Committee Chairman Joe Biden. There are a number of inconsistencies in Tara Reade's story, and there are also a number of people who contemporaneously or near contemporaneously she told that something had happened. And so there's every reason to go forward with a serious look. I thought the vice president's team did a smart thing today in asking for these records. I don't think it's hugely tenable. It's going to turn out to be tenable not to also go look in the archives at the University of Delaware, even if we're looking for something that's probably not there and not going to be found.
Exactly. And of course, that has been one of the problems that Joe Biden has had throughout all of this, is that we are not covering the 2020 campaign the way we normally would. We are not covering primaries. They're not being held. We probably will not have a convention as we know conventions to be because of the pandemic. So he's at home and sheltered and doing online town hall meetings, but not campaigning the way he would normally campaign. And I'm not out there asking him questions on rope lines the way I would love to be asking him questions. So that is one reason why this has not gotten as much attention, either to be proved or disproved, as it normally would. The other thing about this is that Joe Biden was very out front in saying that women who make these sexual assault complaints, and he said this in the case of Christine Blasey Ford, should be believed. And now the Trump campaign is going after him, Don Jr. and the campaign, and Kellyanne Conway, and saying, this is a double standard, you're a hypocrite. And he answered that today to the point where he's saying, look, what I'm saying is that women should be listened to and that the claim should be investigated. And in this case, I'm telling you that the claim is not true, but that women should be respected. So he's trying to walk that line.
I think this was a difficult day for Biden. I think they had hoped to not have to do an interview like the one he did this morning on Morning Joe, and they decided that the time had come when it was inevitable that he was going to have to directly and by him personally address the allegations that Tara Reade has made against him. It was interesting. His denial was unequivocal. How many news conferences have you covered where someone will say, and I have no recollection of that event, which can mean any of a number of things. He unequivocally denied it, but he didn't handle every question smoothly. And I think we have not gotten to the end of this story yet. I think this is something that Joe Biden is going to have to answer questions about again in the future.
Real shit. Real shit. How the fuck is this even a topic right now? Can somebody please explain to me? We are in the presidential race. Joe Biden, a sexual assault case came up from 93. That's a question. Where was that case when he was running for vice president? But all of a sudden, this whole case has come out now when he's trying to run for president. That's crazy, it's not? He said that this shit didn't happen. What are we supposed to do? Believe this female or believe him? If it happened, it happened. And I don't mean like that. I mean, if it happened, then he should be in fucking jail. Period. But apparently, the law enforcement at that time and everybody who's around you deemed that you was not credible in your shit you was saying. So why is this a matter now? This is happened over 20 some odd years ago.
I don't believe it.
I don't either.
Like you said, why didn't this come up when he was being vice president? And on top of that, I think it's mighty funny and quite coincidental that it comes out when he's trying to run for president.
Yeah, it's funny. It came out when trying to run for president. Like
nothing happened. She got paid by some Republican person under the White House to say some shit to try to smear his image.
Yeah.
Nothing more, nothing less. Nothing happened.
Because when he was running as a vice president for a black candidate, this part would derail the Obama campaign easily, but it didn't come up. But it's coming up now. Come on, y'all. Don't be dumb. Don't be stupid. Vote with your minds in November. Seriously.
Nobody believes this shit anyways. That's why nobody's saying shit about it.
Everybody talking about it.
Everybody talking about nobody believe it happened now.
But that's literally the point. It's not even that it need to be believable that it happened. It's the point of why are we talking about it now?
Because he's running for president.
That's literally the whole point.
Whenever people run for president, all these wild accusations always come on about they did this and they did that, and why the fuck was y'all when it happened saying shit?
Right. Like if this is such a big thing.
Did she file a police report?
And this actually happened. How the fuck is this man never served any jail time behind that shit? See. I believe that you do need to believe the female or listen to the female when she bring up these accusations because it does happen.
Oh yeah, these accusations should always be investigated. But in the end, if it's found out that he didn't do anything, then I'm sorry, but you need to be charged with fucking filing a false police report.
Yes, and that's never happened. That's really ever happened to these women.
And I think all these men should turn around and fucking sue them fucking into bankruptcy for defamation of character.
And I swear to God, if another female come out about it, I'm definitely calling bullshit because that's the trend. Oh, it take one female to speak up, and then when they all want someone to start speaking up. So at the end of this month, if Joe Biden have 20 sexual assault cases against him, I'm calling bullshit. No lie, I'm calling bullshit because that makes no freaking sense. Where were all y'all females during the time of his heyday? Same with the Bill Cosby shit. Where were all y'all at talking all this then? Nobody was around. I don't know. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Shadow watch. I'm always watching.